Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. So every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, I want to talk about Brother Polight. Seems here like he has been sentenced to 7 years in prison with 10 years of probation. Now, when the story first came out a day or two ago, it was kind of a lot of skepticism. People didn't know if it was real or not because a lot of people have been putting things out about this trial and this case in the past, and then Michael Noah comes back and says it's all false. It's not true. His haters are trying to bring him down, destroy his his mission and all that kind of crap, But then people keep bringing receipts, and he keeps saying that it's a conspiracy, all that kind of bull crap, man. So anyway, shout out to Tasha K, who broke the story big time a couple years back when he got arrested and charged, and then everybody else jumped on it, bringing additional receipts and court testimony and this and the third. But now you got brother Tony the Closer, and he actually played the actual court proceedings that happened, I guess, a day or two ago, to where you can hear the judge read out all the charges, read out the probable sentences and the plea deal and the actual sentence, and had the victim's mother testify or give her statement afterwards. I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Let all y'all see it. Let y'all hear it, and come to your own conclusion. And probably we can bring this case to a close. But one of the issues I want to bring up is, how is it that people get so caught up with people and the image that they can't see, as old people used to say, the forest for the trees? Because on the outside, me, myself, I've always been a person who's been patient. That's one thing I always learned to do. I teach others the same thing, taught my kids that, my daughters, look, before you get into relationships, before you jump into some kind of deal or do something, be patient, study, research, do your due diligence before you say, okay, this is a thing to do. Because people, there's some predators out there, man, and they prey on kids, grown folks, what to say, man, woman, and child. And it's hard in the beginning to decipher the wheat from the tares, but as long as you be patient and just take your time, meditate, pray on it, whatever you do to keep your mind clear and focused, eventually everything will come out. And then once it does, then then it's really all on you. Then 100% blame is on you. You can't blame nobody else. I've seen people get in relationships with people, and then next thing you know, they jump in it real fast. And then after a while, they find out this person is abusive, verbally, physically, mentally, or have babies by somebody, and then they want to say that he's a no good dad. But it's like, these guys always been like that. It's just that you jumped into the relationship too quick. But anywho, like I said, I've been doing the conscious community thing since early 90s. And so I understand the base of it. But what always gets me, triggers me, is when you see the ones who try to profit off of it. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying you can't make money off of anything, because if you're a great teacher, if you can give lessons, if you learn something, understood it, you can bring it to the masses. There's really nothing wrong with getting some kind of compensation for it. But because if you look, you go to the scriptures, all the preachers back then who went around teaching the word. They wasn't rich people. You know, they even talked against being, you know, super duper rich. They would get enough money to, you know, somewhere to stay, or people would give them lodging, give them food, may give them a little money to go on to the next town so they have enough money to live off of. But they wasn't trying to get, you know, they wasn't riding around, you know, on 4 or 5 donkeys, camels, with an entourage rolling with them and standing in the finest inns and eating all the wine and pigs on the spit everywhere they went, and preached this whole prosperity thing. You know, people like Creflo Dollar. I remember when I first started listening to him and watching him, it was about the late 90s. And the guy used to preach like the word. To me, it seemed like he was giving great messages, man. You know, you're sitting there reading it, and he's talking, you reading, studying, taking notes. And it's like, man, this guy is like on fire. But then after a while, he started preaching more about money and prosperity and giving tithes. And it became 99.9% of his sermons. And so I had to just back off from that because something didn't seem quite right about that. And that's all you preach about. And then, you know, they had a big thing about trying to get a private jet, because the private jet he had was old. So he needed to raise like $60-something million. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just too much. But I had stopped listening to him way before then. But it's stuff like that. So you got people like Brother Polight. You know, first he was speaking about the conscious community, talking about black love, the families, wanting multiple wives. You know, and it ain't all about sex. It's all about, you know, the family, keeping, you know, the business, the community, keeping the community together. Try to make it all positive. Then all of a sudden you doing videos talking about Miami drip. You got on Versace, driving in $400,000 cars, living in $1 million houses, when just a few years before that you were living in a nice house, maybe a 2-story, 3-4 bedroom house, you know, doing interviews in it. But now all of a sudden you got money like looking like Floyd Mayweather. And you got people that eat this stuff up, and I don't understand how they don't see that it's a fraud, that these people are not here to help the community. There's something really wrong with the mindset of the human. For some reason, we're always trying to grasp at something, hold on to something, like we feel like our lives are worth nothing. And so these guys come up, ladies too, and they speak this word and they speak eloquently, and people just jump on it. I mean, shoot, that's why pimps stay in business, are able to do what they do, because they prey on the weak. And so I guess that's what the issue is. I mean, I've never been that weak. I listen to I listen to somebody, and first thing people say, man, you following that guy? You should listen to that guy too. Remember, look, and see what he turned out to be? Well, see, this is a difference, because there's nothing wrong with listening to anyone. I can listen to a preacher, I can listen to a pimp, I can listen to a homeless man, I can listen to a man that's a billionaire. I can listen to a teacher, I can listen to my father. I can listen to anybody, because you never know who gonna bring you a message that you actually need to hear. You know what they say, don't shoot the messenger, right? I mean, just listen to the message, because everything everybody says is not 100% accurate anyway. So you have to learn how to decipher things. But this guy here had all these women, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but then he gets in a relationship with this one woman. Now remember, he's already done said he got multiple wives already. You know, already said this. So now he got another woman that he's that's in a relationship with, and he tries to do something with her daughter late at night. Now my question is, and yeah, I'm gonna go all over the place because I want everybody to take accountability for what they did. When you listen to the video that Tony the Closer plays, the mother says, you said that you was just gonna go talk to her and you'll bring her right back. He's talking about her daughter. And she said, crying. And she says this multiple times. Now, from my experience, my experience dealing with people, usually when somebody says something a bunch of times and then they put tears behind it, it's a good chance that what they're saying is not 100% truthful or, factual. Not saying that they lying, but maybe they misconstrued what happened. That's all I'm gonna say. But for some reason, the words that came out of their mouth is not exactly what happened in that instance. Because, and then two, you gotta understand that Michael Noack, while standing in court, when the victims and people are talking, he's not allowed to say anything because he can be caught, found in contempt, and his sentence can be worse. So he pretty much can't say anything. He can whisper to his lawyer, but certain times you can't say a word. I know because, child support court, same bull coin, whole, I almost got hindered by the bailiff because the judge was saying some bull crap. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell is going on? Why y'all, anyway, long story short, but that's over with. That's in the past. Hallelujah. But she says it multiple times that you said you was going to take her just to talk to her. You was going to bring her back. You promised me you was going to do that. And I'm like, I ain't like the sincerity behind that. But because I've known women who will cry and lie and cry at the same time. So let's just be honest out there. They're very emotional. They're good at it. They can do it. And the reason why I say what she said, I don't think it was 100% accurate, because with the police report, and let me see if I could find some of this. It said that, I'm trying to find it. Give me 1 second here, people. It said charged with battery. It say okay, so I'm reading off this celebcritics.com, and I'm just going through this stuff a little bit. It says, the 37-year-old motivational speaking author surrendered to authorities facing allegations of, battery involving a 14-year-old girl in a February incident in a hotel room. Now, this is, they're reading from like a couple of years back. According to the police report, Noack had a romantic connection with the girl's mother and had asked permission to take the teenager to an after party at a Miami club. When the club turned out to be closed, he took the girl to his hotel. Now, if this is in the police report, that means, and there's no dispute in any other police report or in these articles, that means that she knew where he was taking the daughter. They said she said you were just gonna go and talk to her, tell her how great of a mother I was, or that I still am, and talk some sense into her. Who in the hell is gonna take a 14? First of all, who in their right mind is gonna allow their 14-year-old daughter to go anywhere with a grown man? They said the club was closed. It had to have been after what? I'm gonna say after midnight, give or take a couple of hours, in Miami. I mean, where is the logic in that? My point, I think the dude just had to gift the gab, and she knew that this guy was up to no good. Like I said, he was married with multiple women. Hey, if y'all hear me like drinking, this is Detox with Dr. Bobby Price that I started today. Woo, this stuff is bitter, but my God, I've been having like stank face all day. I'm trying to get this taste in my mouth. But anyway, I'm on my second jar. This is day one. I thought about doing day 28, but I think I'm only gonna be able to do 14. They say it gets better after 3 or 4 days. We're gonna see. But this first day is like hell. But anyway, like I say, who gonna let your 14-year-old child, hell, even your 14-year-old boy? Well, I don't know if it's a boy and another guy. You probably don't know no brother. You probably wouldn't know he touched a little boy, but you know, guys do that. But anyway, how you gonna let your daughter? I would not let my daughters. I wouldn't let your daughter leave with me to go anywhere after a certain time. I don't care. Matter of fact, I'm the type. I'm the type of guy is I don't feel comfortable being around people's children, little girls, by myself. Not saying that I'm gonna do something because I won't. Not saying that not saying that the child would do anything. But perception is key. And people out here got dirty minds, sick minds, and you never know. It could have been a setup, Mr. North. It could have been. But your dumb ass thought it was okay to take a 14-year-old girl out at that time of night for whatever reason. That I can't condone from him or the mother. You know, bottom line, it's too many things out. There's too many sickos out here. We see it all the time. How many times we see these teachers out here messing with these boys? They be in junior high, 13, 14 years old. Hell, these teachers even have babies by these kids. And they're getting arrested in the story, you know, stories online. But you don't hear a big outcry for that. But you have a couple of homeless people slap a few Asian people around and they get a whole crime bill. And it's national news on every station, and it's on the lips of every politician. Let's get this done. But these kids are getting assaulted and nothing is said nationally. Are you serious? No one cares. And those are the people that we're supposed to protect, because those are the ones who is going to run the world in the future. And if you don't protect them as children, when they get older, the world's gonna be jacked up. Period. But yeah, so it said that Noah provided the minor with alcohol and engaged in inappropriate behavior, include groping her all over her, you know, her inappropriate parts everywhere. Allegations further stated he attempted to coerce the teen into performing the act. So again, this is after the club is closed. Why is like I said, why are you letting your daughter go with this dude? Again, I don't want to go too long on this because I can go on forever. I go on for a long time. It says the situation escalated when the young girl reported lost consciousness, only to awaken with Noah attempting to induce vomiting. Her condition was exacerbated by severe swelling on her mouth and lips, suggesting a distressing turn of events. Yeah, she probably broke out with something. If he ain't slap her, she ain't fallen, hit herself in the face. In a startling revelation, the report also claims that Noah urged the girl's mother not to involve law enforcement, asserting that it would have been detrimental consequences for his career. And while these are grave allegations, Noak's defense attorney, David Towers, maintains his client's innocent. Towers asserts that once the evidence is presented, Noak will be forgiven, categorically declaring him not guilty. Well, it looks like that didn't happen, buddy. It looks like you got found. No. You didn't get found guilty. You pled guilty. And then what kills me is this here too. I'm going to this JordanThriller.com, and that's the link I'm gonna post on this video. It says many people on social media have expressed their satisfaction and relief that Brother Polight has been held accountable for his actions. They have also praised Tony the Closer for exposing him and bringing awareness to the case. However, some of Brother Polight's supporters have defended him and questioned the validity of the evidence and the motives of the accusers. They have also accused Tony the Closer of being opportunistic. Below is a video of that first broke out the news arrest a few years ago. So they're saying that Tony the Closer has been an opportunist. I got a question. Who cares? Who cares? So who would you rather break the news story? CNN, Fox, MSNBC? It's okay for them to break it, right? But when you get a brother like Tony the Closer, who's not a major news outlet, just a young man who got access to some things and put it out there. But see, that's the problem in our community. We like to hide stuff. We don't like people to quote unquote know our business. You know, the man shouldn't know what's going on. Man, the world need to go know what's going on when it's something wrong and right. Because when you're out there and you're doing something detrimental to children, detrimental to the community, you need to be put out there on Front Street. Now, I know a lot of people like to say, hey, judge not, yet ye be not judged, and you shouldn't be a judge. Don't judge me. You're not supposed to, the Bible says you're not supposed to judge me. Who are you to judge me? Well, unfortunately, people, and it's for you guys who don't read the scriptures, who don't really study, and don't really understand what you're saying or what you're hearing or what the preacher's saying. The verse of judge not, ye be judged, doesn't say, it's not telling you not to judge. It's not telling you to shut up and let people just do wrong stuff and you just hold your head down and walk by like ain't nothing happening because you'll be judged. No, what it's telling you is you see somebody doing wrong, somebody doing something stupid, you call them out on it. And yes, but make sure you understand when you do something wrong and you do something stupid, they have the right to call you out too. But that's what you're supposed to do, because that's the only way a community is going to get better. That's only you as an individual can get better. If someone say, hey, you doing something wrong, this is not right, and then another person say, well, okay, I hear you, but you know, you did this too, but you did this and that wasn't right. Okay, you know what, I understand it, I'm gonna correct that. And then the other person's supposed to be like, okay, I understand what you're saying, and I'm gonna correct that. And that's how you do it. Because because number one, if you judge yourself, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna do nothing to fix the problem. I mean, you ain't gonna care because you're getting away with it, and it's all good. So anyway, like I was saying, just learn your scriptures and learn, you know, how to read and interpret the correct way. But anyway, y'all, that's pretty much all I want to say about this. I don't want to go too long of a tirade. It's a sad story, but something good in the end came out. The man got sentenced. I didn't see anything about him being to where he had to, what do you call that, register as an offender, but he should, no matter what the plea deal is. I don't know how that works. But anyway, in conclusion, when y'all see these guys out here, when they can speak eloquently, when they being profound in what they say, bragging a lot, claiming that they're doing something to help you and the community, listen to the message and then go back and meditate and pray on it. And then if you feel it's legit, you know, come back and listen to another message. When they start to say things that goes against the narrative, when it goes against, you know, actually helping the community, and it's more of a more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when I mean by that is they're getting rich and then they bragging about all the money they have. It's something you got to back away from those people. You can't support them because that's not what bringing up the community is about. It's about the community. It's about teaching. Because what you're supposed to do is, and here's why I think a lot of our communities stay in the condition that they are in. People believe that if you're born in the hood, born in the ghetto, and you find a way out, whether it's through academics, or whether it's through athletics or entrepreneurship, they feel that you shouldn't leave the hood. If you're in a crime-infested, drug-infested, gang-infested community, people feel that you should stay in that community and help build it. The problem with that is You can't do it by yourself. There's no way in the world you'll be able to do it. You'll be what do they say? Beating your head up against a brick wall and gaining no ground on trying to knock it down. But what you're supposed to do is get out, stay out. When I say stay out, I mean living. But yet you try to entice, you try to teach, motivate others to do the same and to come with you and to follow you to the quote unquote promised land. It's like Moses in the scriptures when he went to Egypt to go get his people. He told them, let his people go. They was in captivity. It was to a point that they even realized they was in captivity, kind of like a lot of our people in America. And he was like, let them go, and we're gonna leave, we're gonna go to the promised land. If Moses would have tried to save his people in Egypt, there's no way he would have done it. He wouldn't, there's no way he could have reached probably little to nobody, because they're too comfortable where they're at, and they're afraid of change, and everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? The boss man, the Pharaoh is treating us well, good enough that we still alive. We good, Moses. Stop bringing that mess here. So he was instructed by the Most High to take them out of Egypt. That way they can get away from all that stuff that's pulling on them, and they can start anew. That way they can create, get to the promised land, and they can become the people that they were born to be. They were prophesied to be. That's the only way you're gonna fix our people. We gotta get away from the whole, this is my hood, this and the third, because really it's not your hood, really. You know, it's not your neighborhood. Most of you don't own the land, don't even pay taxes on it because you rent. So, but you're supposed to get your people, take them with you. You're supposed to get out, get the knowledge, the understanding on how to make it outside of that environment, and then go and get those who are ready to come out that environment, but who are ready to do what to be done like you did to get out that environment and stay out that environment, because you can't save everybody. Everybody's not coming. Everybody's not going with you. So you got to come to grips with that. But if they're not teaching a word, not giving instruction like that, and if all they're doing is, because basically Michael know it, damn it. Basically what he's doing is the same thing that he's accusing the other people of doing. You know, those folk of doing. He doing the same thing to his own people. And then when you say something against him, he say you're a hater. I mean, what kind of man, trying to teach his people, trying to be righteous, use the word, call people haters? That's nah. And that ain't a term that he would use. But anyway, that he should use. Anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.